and you just thought you couldn't grow one of these. I'll show you. So help me with something. I don't understand this. People say, oh, I don't want to have houseplants because I can't grow them, I kill them. Hey, look, this is the easiest blooming houseplant you could possibly grow. I know it's an orchid. This is a Phalaenopsis orchid. It's also called a moth orchid, and it's called that because of these gorgeous flowers. Just take a look at them. They're supposed to represent moths, but I've never seen a moth so beautiful in my life, and they come in lots of different colors. They come in white, they come in various shades of pink and purple, even salmon and yellow. And I think they're a wonderful addition to any home. And like I said, they're so easy to grow. You don't want to overwater them. That kills them faster than anything. That's a mistake most people make. These things don't need water except for maybe once a week. You can even put just a few ice cubes on them to keep them watered. I even use a turkey baster to just get a little water to keep the bark mulch that surrounds the roots moist. You see, these plants are a part of a big family, the epiphytes, and they grow in trees. And so you can imagine they're not sitting in water. There's over 35,000 species of orchids out there. So looking at this gorgeous thing, you're just seeing the tip of the iceberg. When you buy these things, they typically come in a grower pot like this. And you can see those really big roots in here. They're just gorgeous, and you want to make sure that they stay vibrant like this. They're really white and full and fleshy. I'm going to push this back in here like this because I want to finish my demonstration, which is really about how they're staked. You want to make sure that when you're buying them that they're staked like this and the stems aren't broken. And the other thing that I look for, and I didn't see any when I went to the nursery this time, but you might want to try to find some with extra buds. These flowers will last up to 3 months, but the more unopened buds you have, you're going to have more flower power coming out of that plant over time. Now, when it comes to light, you don't want to put these in direct sunlight. If you have western light that's direct, this plant is not going to last that long. You want it to be an indirect light. That's plenty for these orchids in order for them to keep the full color in the blooms and to keep the plants alive and vibrant. Okay, so you see these stakes, there's nothing attractive about them, and there's nothing attractive really about these clips. So what I like to do is take the orchid and customize it. And we're going to talk a little bit about ways you can customize these plants. One of the things I like to do is put them in my own containers. You know, these are okay. You know, if you've got a room where that works, then that's great. But what I like to do is use some things that already work in my home. So I have some of this green glazed ceramic that I like to use in the back parlor. And what I do is I take these orchids out of the plastic container and I shift them over into a plastic bag. So that's a 1 quart freezer bag, and you just let it get nestled in like so, and then I just roll this back. So a quart is just about the right size. You'll find that maybe a little tight. You'll have to wrestle around with it like I'm doing, but hey, that's just the way it goes, okay? Keep the stakes in here for now, all right? And I'm gonna have this one, I'm just gonna place it in here to hold while I get the other one out. Do the same with this one. Hopefully it'll be a little more cooperative. And the other thing you need to know about orchids when it comes to temperature, if you're comfortable, your orchid is likely to be comfortable. So they don't like it too cold. So you see this one's going in much easier. It's more compliant. I like a compliant orchid. And I'm just going to roll this down. And you can see by leaving the top open, that bark, which it's grown in, is exposed, and you can add whatever amount of water you need to at any given time. Okay, now the trick here is to sort of arrange these in the container like this, and you want the 2 orchids to sort of work with one another. See how I've got all of these kind of moving in the same direction. I've got them moving, it's like you want fish swimming in the same direction, like a school of fish. So once you get them in place, what I do is I like to take pieces of newspaper and just wedge in the sides to help hold them in place. You don't have to use anything fancy. Just pack it in like that. And we'll have time to adjust these in just a minute. You want to make sure that they're really secure. Okay, just like that. And now it's time to replace these sticks. And I'm just going to take these clips off one at a time, because see how they flop like that? And in this case, what I'm going to use is some of this kiwi vine, because I think it's so interesting with the curls at the top. Just adds another little touch of visual interest. So I'm going to cut this down, and I'm going to simply stick that in like that. And you see, because of the curl, you've already got some support. And then I'm going to take some of this wire that's wrapped with jute, and I'm going to just make a little natural clip like this. Something you really don't see. It just kind of goes away. It looks natural. See, there we go. Then I'll do each one of those individually. Okay, the last thing you want to do is you want to take some of the sheet moss. What I did is I moistened it earlier. I like to put it in a baking dish like this, and you just want to cover the top of the orchid like this. And I like to moisten this because it's so much more pliable and easy to apply to the top of your dish. And then I can place this in the room. If you like this tip and you think some of your friends might, subscribe to How Home.